How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys having a great and exceptional day. Welcome to the 20th edition of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. If you don't know, it's usually me. Well, let me get my music together. Yeah, like this. Listeners. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Anyways, still messing around. Love StreamYard. They got all these great features, so I try to utilize them since I pay for this service every month. But anyways, so 20th edition of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. Usually me just basically picking out specific news media articles to mock and censor, because my personal opinion when it comes to news media outlets, whether they're considered to be independent, left or right, whatever the case may be, a lot of times that can equal to be, that term that starts with a B and ends with something else. But I'll leave it at that. But anyways, basically just mocking these articles, give my perspective on things. If people want to come in and give their perspectives, I'm always willing to hear. Remember, I don't do Democrats and Republicans. I do check-ins and savings. My mindset of real, true-blooded American is going to make money moves, and they're going to do great things for their family, regardless who's sitting in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house. So that's always been my opinion, and that will be my opinion until the day I die. So I just keep it real and keep it simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, life goes on. Okay, so let's get down to the brass tactics that I don't have all night. Let me stop playing. Anyways, it's been a good weekend. Glad to have tomorrow off from work. That gives me more time to work out on myself and work out on my business. Get to check out online store. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, AcornsCrypto.com, Coinbase, all those platforms. You'll be able to buy stocks, bonds, have an individual retirement account, cryptocurrencies, things of that nature, and just go from there. All right. Anyways, I digress. So, let's get down to the news articles. Okay. About to say, where'd the music go? It disappeared on me. All righty. So, first edition of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. Not that one. This is actually interesting. Now, there's been talks about this more and more. My personal opinion might be double this. So the average mortgage for most Americans lifespan is 30 years. But then, of course, if you really think about it, a lot of times, especially depending on the interest rates, people will refinance their mortgage in order for them to get a lower payment. But it basically just starts them over again. So say you pay down your mortgage down to, if you had a mortgage of, 300,000, but you paid it down 100,000. The interest rates are lower. The bank's like, hey, this is the moment for us to capitalize and double our money, because that's what banks do. They take your money that you deposited in their banks, and then they invest it in various different aspects, in various different ways. I.e. the stock market, i.e. insurance policies, i.e. mortgages. It's the American way. It's a beautiful thing. But anyways, I had my little rant about how everything is a business and an investment, and earlier it went live on Facebook, and then I just uploaded it to all my other platforms. But anyways, back to the business at hand. But because the way that interest rates are now, and because of how expensive homes are now, there's been talks about having, instead of a 30-year mortgage, turn into a 40-year mortgage. Should be the new American standard for first-time home buyers. Two-time presidential advisor says. And this guy, John Hope Bryan, is a very intelligent guy. I've seen him speak on various aspects in various different ways, and he's I have to agree with this. The aspect of 40-year-old mortgages, because he's leads one of the largest minority-controlled owned single-family rental homes in America, and serves as an advisor to two presidential administrations, and now is the founder and chief executive operation Hope nonprofit. Because it's like, and the main reason why this is an idea that he's proposing is because one, to give people a lot much more time in order for them to pay down their mortgages. Two, possibly, this is all in the possible aspect of things, could possibly put people in a position of where they will have to put less down. Or of course, if you're a first-time home buyer, it depends on the state that you live in. It depends on what things are out there, like, the FHA, Federal Housing Authority loans that are out there. Being able to put things out there like that. So therefore, those kind of loans can put you at a lower interest, one, and then two, zero money down as far as down payment, or there might be down payment assistance programs. There's always different things that are out there. And then two, the people just have to have enough money to pay the closing costs. But if you have a mortgage with an additional 10-year lifespan, it could bring the payments down, so it could make it much more affordable for one to obtain a loan in order for them to get a home. Because we're right now in the United States, for the last specifically 2 years now, I won't even say 2 years, I'm gonna say ever since 2021, ever since the world started opening up, because everybody will want to blame Trump, everybody will want to blame Biden, and this is just purely economics. So take your political, I'm a Democrat and Republican nonsense out of your mind. Just hear what I'm saying on this. All right. Remember the pandemic, the world shut down. Nobody could go anywhere or sell anything. You couldn't evict anybody. All right. Towards the end of 2021 to the beginning of 2021, the world was opening up. And I believe it was by 2022 to 2023, that's when the eviction moratorium, where you couldn't get away with not paying your rent anymore, was lifted, number one. And then remember, a lot of people stopped paying their mortgage for a year during the pandemic because of the moratorium and whatnot. So people were able to apply for, basically stop paying their mortgage, and it wasn't going to affect their credit. Heck, that was even a time when people were able to take money out of their 401k, like I did, without having to pay a tax penalty. So, because the world was locked down. We were in panic mode. We didn't know what the heck was going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. All right. But once the world started opening up, I remember the amount of money that people were paying for their homes was like double to triple. It was a seller's market. Okay. And these people were making offers on homes that were sight unseen. All you got was a virtual tour. It's literally because of the pandemic, people were not allowing people to come into their houses. So, and now it's like ever since the world has opened up, more and more houses have sold, more and more people have arrived. So you have a supply and demand issue like you've always had, but it's just intensified. And then with the interest rates going up, because the Fed has tried to slow the economy down, has allowed the prices of the homes to go up. The average price of a house in the United States of America for a single family home is about at almost $400,000 right now in all major metropolitan cities around the United States. So that's the West Coast, that's the East Coast, that's the Midwest, and that's the South, as far as major metropolitan areas. Now, smaller mid-sized cities, smaller towns, the prices aren't that much, but there's a but a lot of their homes have exceeded the normal prices that you would see back in 2019 to 2020. Hence, example, let's say Jackson, Mississippi. You used to be able to buy a decent home there for under $200,000. As far as a house that you don't have to really put any work in, but now it's creeping up to $300,000. Reading, Pennsylvania. You used to be able to buy a house under $100,000 for a row house, brownstone, townhouse. Now, you can't find anything no less than 150, and 9 times out of 10, you will have to do some kind of work to it. These are just things to take into consideration. But my whole aspect of mocking the article, because like I said, what he has to say is real. So this is today's forecast. We're all going to die. Eventually, the housing market is going to have to stabilize. Eventually, the housing market is going to have to stabilize itself. All right. And eventually, because now we're when it comes to most regular working people are just dead, flat, broke. Okay. People are just dead, flat, broke. People are barely scraping by, and we have the biggest amount of credit card debt that we've ever seen in U.S. history. That's just what it is. Biggest amount of credit card debt in U.S. history, number one. Then number two, you have to take into consideration that, because of the cost of living has gone up tremendously, food has gone up tremendously. A lot of people are just not out and about like they used to be, but we are definitely living in a time frame where people just don't care. They don't mind being outside. As expensive it is to be outside, and trust and believe I know, because I haven't been outside for the last 2 weeks of my life right now. Even went outside this weekend, didn't really want to go out. It's expensive. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. But the reason why I say I can't panic about the housing market is because certain sectors obviously within the housing market are being affected because people just cannot afford to buy like that, number one. But number two, it's not stopping people from, we live in a consumer spending economy, and it's not stopping people from going out and spending the money on other things. Case in point, today's forecast, we're all going to die. CNN article talks about Labor Day air travel caps record-setting summer in 3 charts. And I can believe this because why? Number one, this was the last weekend of the summer. People go out to the beach, people go out to the pools, things of that nature. And we're in September now. Fall is coming, and eventually winter will be coming. Okay, so these are just things that we have to take into consideration. All right, it says a record number of travelers is expected to shuttle through the nation's airports this Labor Day weekend, with as many as 17 million passengers expected from Thursday through the following Wednesday, the TSA, Transportation Security Administration, stated. All right, the agency, which tracks the numbers of passengers and screens for security, is projecting as many as 2.86 million passengers on Friday alone. What's expected to be the busiest air travel day of the holiday, which was this past Friday, because I'm broadcasting on Sunday right now. That would exceed the number of passengers screened on the same day last year and in 2019, before the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the travel, air travel across the country. Heck, air travel across the world, because there was other parts of the world that didn't open up until like 2022. Okay. So with all this air travel going on, last time I checked, it's not cheap to fly unless you have air miles or whatnot, or unless you are rich, or unless you're traveling for business, so your employer is paying for it. It's not cheap to travel. So with that being said, it's not cheap to fly. So with that being said, I'm just like, clearly the economy can't be that bad. Or if it is, number one, hold on a second. Of course, my dog has to wake up when I'm recording. All right. Or if it is that bad, people are just going into debt. Because even when I went to Mississippi, it was a lot of people. I mean, obviously, flying to Mississippi, it wasn't that bad because, it's nothing against Mississippi, but, Jackson, Mississippi is just not the hotbed of travel. But when I flew to Atlanta, plane was packed. Okay. Especially when I went to InvestFest, but obviously there was a major event going on in Atlanta. Plus, there was a football game in Atlanta as well. That's just something to take into consideration. But as you can see, people are getting their last minute vacations in. They've got their last minute vacations in this weekend, so that just says a lot right there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it at that. All right. Now, I'm going to be talking about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. If you are going to get into your feelings about this, remember, I don't care about either candidate. I'm not voting. I'm going to mock, and I don't care. Okay? Life is too short. Like I said, if you're a real true-blooded American, you're going to make moves in this country regardless of sitting in the White House, governor's house, and mayor's house. But that's just my personal opinion. I can't really go into it any other way. That is my personal opinion. So I'm just going to leave it there, family. All right. I'm hoping my dog got some water, but I'm hoping that he does not have to go to the bathroom, because if he does, I will have to pause this broadcast for a second. So, matter of fact, yeah, I'm just going to take him out. I'm not going to take the chance. So, all right, give me a second, family. I'll be right back. All right, my bad about that, family, but you know, my dog is like my child, so got to make sure he's a senior dog, so got to make sure he's good to go. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Once again, I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Once again, I'm letting you know, I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care if you're not voting. I don't argue about politics. I'm not participating in this election. I didn't participate in the last election, so therefore, I mock who I mock. You don't like it, there's the door. We're going to keep it simple around here. I'm just going to let that be known before I go forward. So if you get butt hurt over me talking about your precious presidential candidate, then you're on the wrong channel, because I'm not voting for any one of them. So let's just keep it real. All right, what it is. All right, so let's get down to the brass tactics. So where's it at? Okay. Today's forecast. We're all going to die. This article says the real story behind the Harris-Trump hot mic feud. Like anybody really cares. Well, let's dig into it. Okay. So, in an election in which neither party agrees on much, never have, probably never will, but they're not even really talking about the issues that pertain to me, they agree on this. The first presidential debate of the year was catastrophic for presidential Joe Biden, who was ousted as the presumptive nominee of his party as a direct result. He was. And like I said, Joe Biden accomplished everything for the most part. I don't even know why he was going to try to run. Even if he the same age, if Donald Trump was at the same age, it's just like, look, eventually you got to come to the realization that there's certain things in this life that you can do, and there's certain things in this life that you can't do. Okay, when we all, I'm getting older. Every day we get older. There's certain things I could do. Heck, I used to be able to eat McDonald's on a regular basis and had no issues. Can't do that no more at 41. I feel like complete dog crap. I think the food is worse than what it used to be when I was younger, but I feel like complete dog crap and very lethargic after I eat McDonald's cheeseburgers or chicken sandwiches and whatnot. The French fries, maybe not so much, but everything else that they serve there, I remember the last time I really ate McDonald's, it was like literally it was the worst meal of my life. But that's just me. I'm a food snob. But if I'm paying money for something, I'd have the right to be a food snob. So I leave it at that. It's the same thing in Joe Biden's situation. All right. So as the scheduled September 10th debate on ABC approaches, it's no surprise now that Team Trump would want to keep the conditions of June's debate precisely intact, and that vice presidential candidate Harris team wouldn't. This leads to the most recent dust-up, which has been drawing out for days over mics, a topic that has provided to be the sickest of all. The issue is whether the candidate's microphone should be muted when it is their turn to speak. Republicans want them muted, Democrats don't. This is really what the hell we're talking about right now. This is the inflation's high. Folks are scraping by. Folks are barely making it. Certain parts of the country are having third world conditions. It's starting to look like third world areas of the country. People can't afford to buy a house. People's student loan payments got readjusted. Started again. People can't even really afford to buy a car like that. But we're going to argue about whether a mic should be muted or not. And honestly, if I'm just going to give my personal opinion, I think a mic should be muted just to keep everything intact. Now, I'm sure why Trump would want his mic muted because his team does. I'm sure he doesn't because he's the king of interrupting people when they're talking. But I actually think it would be appropriate. In my personal opinion, I actually never thought I'd agree with the Republicans, but once again, I agree on common sense. Logic. I'm like, okay, well, if Trump is speaking, okay, cool. Kamala Harris can address him when he's done talking. Same thing with her. Kamala Harris, when she's speaking, Trump is the king of going, no, wrong. That's just who he is. All right. So it's the same thing. It's like I could see, him doing that to her when she's trying to rebut or refute anything that he said. So I think in a professional manner, honestly, all the debates should be like that because, especially nowadays, because people act like children. People don't know how to. There's no such thing as courtesy, professional courtesy, class. These things are becoming the dying breed in today's world. People having some sort of class about them. You know what I mean? Like everybody prides themselves on being disgusting, nasty, ratchet, and all the above. You know what I'm saying? But if this is what the biggest argument is over, I'm like, you guys got too much time on your hands on both sides, like always. Well, what do I know, right? I just keep it sensible. Keep it sensible and keep it decent. But, it's like I said, it is what it is. Life goes on. I don't have time for this nonsense. So, oh boy, priceless. That's all I got to say. Priceless. These are the arguments of the day. This is what matters to everybody. But anyways, let me stop tripping. But anyways, I need to look at that later. But all right, so next, last but definitely not least. Okay, last but definitely not least. Today's forecast, we're all gonna die. Harris and Trump Harris says Trump disrespected sacred ground during an incident at Arlington National Cemetery. Vice President Kamala Harris condemned former President Donald Trump and his campaign. Excuse me. All right, campaign for their actions on Monday at the Arlington National Cemetery in a new post on X. She accused Trump of disrespectful sacred ground, for the sake of political stunts. If there is one thing on which we as Americans can all agree, is that our veterans, military families, and service members should be honored, never disparaged, and treated with nothing less than our highest respect and gratitude, she added. Not that I can agree on, I just don't know what Trump, quote unquote, supposedly did. Harris called Trump on to never stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America as a result of his actions. Comes after the U.S. Army said that a member of the Trump's campaign staff abruptly pushed aside a staff member at a cemetery so that Trump and his campaign could take photos and videos with families of service members who passed away. All right. So here's my thing. If this happened, my mindset is let the family put a statement out there if there was actually disrespect. Because if there was, then, because remember, as I'm talking about this, I'm not a fan of Trump or Harris, so whoever wins, they win. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. So in closing, I'll say that we're in September now, so we're literally 2 months away from the presidential election. I'm going to be very happy about this election being over with, because I'm honestly just not a fan of elections anymore, period. I'm not a fan of politics, so it is what it is. I'm a fan of America because, like I said, the beautiful thing about the United States is that regardless of who's sitting in these positions, if you're strategically working hard towards your goals, things can happen. One. And then two, obviously, if you are surrounded by a team of people that are trying to make things happen, then you have a better chance of winning. I was listening to Tyrese interview with Shannon Sharp, and it was very great. And I had the pleasure of seeing Tyrese last Sunday, about a week ago, down in Atlanta for InvestFest. And Tyrese said these awesome things that I just could not agree with him. Community and teamwork is essential for any group of people's true success in this country. And when he talked about, the Jewish community working together, making moves, owning assets, turning the phones off, and making power plays, it hit me. When he talked about the Hispanic community, turning their phones off, buying real estate, opening up businesses together, and they practice group economics, so therefore the trickle down theory does apply, because politicians always talk about, things will trickle down. Things will only trickle down if you're a part of a group of people that are willing to help things trickle down for you. So, and he's talking about the biggest problem in the African American community, or the Black American community, is that there's not enough of us working together. There's too many of us working apart. Dr. George C. Frazier, philanthropist, businessman. I read two of his books. I remember he was at when Tavis Smiley used to have the State of the Black Union conventions, and I wish he would have something like that more again, because that brought people together. But Dr. George C. Frazier said that he showed basically a spider web with a bunch of dots, on the picture. And this is life before a bunch of, social media was just starting to become a thing. You didn't even have all these apps like we do. This is the got an app generation. But Dr. George C. Frazier, he said he's like, of all these, like, these dots are people, are an example of Chicago, Detroit, Los Angeles, New York, Miami, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans. And he talked about there are amazing people doing a bunch of amazing things, but they're not working together. You got a dot here, 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 spread out. And he really went in regards to people not working together and not trying to make moves together. And the one thing that I loved about InvestFest was that people were working together, people were connecting. Like, this Lone Ranger thing is what's killing us. As far as Black Americans, like, if Kamala Harris gets in office and we're not talking about buying real estate and opening up businesses and connecting each other from a professional standpoint, not even just, like I said, the investment in the business aspect, if professionals are not connecting with one another, mentoring one another, training one another, giving people the right, not even just information, because we live in the information age, but just the right mentorship in order for people to become successful, then what the hell's, it's like, what are we doing if we're not, and once again, if we're not passing down real estate, if we're not passing down businesses, if you're not passing down a decent life insurance policy in death, then what are we doing? Hence, that's why I always say hence. If you're not doing that, therefore you are going to be screwed in this country. They talk about Black wealth being at zero by 2035, and we're not that far away. Because if, once again, be a good father, be a good mother, be a good single person, be a good spouse. These are things that, when the people talk about that with pride, I'm not mad at it. But if they consistently talk about that with pride, it angers me, because it angers me for one reason. I always say, Chris Rock said, look, man, you're not supposed to be bragging about what you're supposed to do. You don't brag about paying your bills. You don't brag about being a good parent. You're just supposed to be a good parent. It's the most trifling thing on the planet to brag about, when that's who you are supposed to be. Okay? This isn't up for discussion. We're not living in the era of bragging about how nice your house and car is, how nice your sneakers are, the jewelry you have on. If you're going to brag about something, brag about that you passed down a house to your kids or a member of your family. If you're going to brag about something, brag about how you passed down a business or help partner up with somebody to start a business with one of your friends or family members. If you're going to brag about something, talk about how you was able to get a decent life insurance policy, or an account for your child in order for them to go to college, trade school, or just enough money to put down on a down payment on getting a house, or maybe even buying a business, buying into a franchise. That's worth bragging about. I remember this one Middle Eastern man. I forgot what part of the Middle East he's from. He bought the house that's next door to the house that I grew up in, and he rented it out. And he bought the house for his daughter, but he treated that house as an asset. So he bought the house, bought it for his daughter. And his daughter was in college. He's like, this house is going to be yours when you get out of college. It could be for you and your husband, your future husband, because they had an arranged marriage. And when she got out of college and she did get married, they decided they wanted to get another house. So they took the equity out of that house and bought another house. So they continuously, matter of fact, no, what they did was they bought another house because their parents gave them that money as a gift to buy their dream house. They kept that house as a rental property. They took an equity line of credit out of that house in order for them to buy another house. What that is a family operating as a corporation. And I'm sure that that's all I knew about that, but I'm sure that they probably did other things. Because having assets, i.e. a business, not even just, like I said, not even just owning a house, but a business can not only be an asset in order for you to make money off of, but a business can be an asset in order for you to get access to capital via taking out a loan against your business or taking out loans against business credit cards. I'm not giving out financial advice. I'm just talking. So don't ever say that Larry's telling you to do something. Do your homework, do your research. And it's unfortunate. It seems like I'm always repeating myself, but the point of the matter is those moves were made during George Bush. Those moves were made during Barack Obama. Those kind of moves are made during Trump. Those kind of moves are made during Joe Biden. And those moves will be made if Kamala Harris gets in office or Trump gets back in office. Hence my point. And look, I'm from the state of Virginia, quote unquote a purple state. So I've seen people make it happen regardless if the governor is black, white, Democrat, or Republican. I've seen people make moves. And that's one thing I can say about my home state. I'm not that big of a fan of it, but I will say that people are going to make moves regardless of who's sitting in these positions. So vote for whoever the hell you're going to vote for. I really don't give a rat's. You know what? I just don't care. But man, the only reason why times are going to get scary for people is just because people are alone. The only real reason why times are going to get scarier for people is because people are distracted. The only reason why times are going to get scarier for people is because people don't want to work together. You want to wear all the jerseys and hats of these teams that are in the NFL because football season is amping back up. But you don't want to wear or even create a brand for your own team. If I can admire anything about seeing the marathon team at InvestFest is this. It was a team, it was a diverse group of people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and they were repping the brand. Marathon, Crenshaw, Nipsey, they were repping the brand. You knew who the team members were. But most people don't want to be a part of a team because they still think in this country that you're just supposed to do it all by yourself. Elon Musk doesn't do it all by himself. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't do it all by himself. Jeff Bezos doesn't do it all by himself. That's my point at the end of the day. They might be the face of a company, but they don't do it all by themselves. Nobody does. It's a team. Every major corporation, it's a team effort. Every branch of government, it's a team effort. Every small mom and pop business, it's a team effort. You're losing in the game called the United States of America and the game called capitalism because you are not a part of a team. And that's what people just don't understand. They just don't get. It's not clicking. You're losing because you are by yourself. And I'm guilty of this myself. And this is why I've gone to EYL, because I got tired of not being on a team, or I really just got tired of being a part of the wrong team. The team of people who just want to be basic. The team of people who just want to talk about back in the day. The team of people who just want to worry themselves to death. for no reason. A team of people that are just scared to take risks. Man, never been surrounded by so many scared grown men in my life. And I stand on that. Okay, scary. The saying when I was younger, I used to hear a lot of times, scared money don't make no money, is probably the realest saying of all time. Scared money don't make no money. Because it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Scared money don't make no money. And a lot of people are scared and they stay scared and they're not willing to get outside their comfort zone. It's the saddest thing on the planet, on some realness. And a lot of these people are just going to be left behind, unfortunately. You know, it sucks. It's sad, but it's true. These jokers are going to be left behind. I don't know about you all out there. I don't want to be left behind. I truly don't. But that's just me. You know, we're all different. You know, I'm always seem to be surrounded by the comfort zone individuals. So for whatever reason that may be, I'm always surrounded by them. But, you know, it is what it is. And that's what it is at the end of the day. I mean, I really can't be more clear, crystal clear on this aspect. It's like you have to be able to jump outside that zone. You know, it's up to you. I can't do nothing about it, you know. So that's why today's forecast we're all going to die. Like, this is more serious than normal, just because a lot of people are going to be, you know, like the homeless population has gone up tremendously for mental health reasons and for other various reasons. But a lot of parts of America is going to start looking like San Francisco and Los Angeles in regards to the homeless population if people don't get their acts together financially. And it could, like, and for my Republican heads, every state legislature could be Republican controlled, Congress and the Senate Republican controlled, White House Republican controlled. It doesn't matter. As I always say, if you're presidential candidate, if you're not even just them, if any of your candidates are talking about, majority of the subject matters are talking about have nothing to do with money, you're being pimped and hustled. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You're being hustled. But I leave it at that. That's why I said this is not political. This is all about economics, family. Purely all about economics. Your political stances is what your political stances. Hey, I've talked about, you know, I'm not anti-corporations. I'm not anti-government, because all I can say is, and never misconstrue that, because that's what makes America a wonderful place. Number one. Number two, you know how many rich people corporations in America has made rich? Okay, that's what, you know, it's like, that's what I said. Always think, and regardless of who's sitting in these positions, think about who makes money off of contracts, bro. They do. They make, you know, and that's the American way. That's what makes it, you know, hey, capitalize on situations, you know. But what do I know? You know, but do your best to capitalize on these situations, okay? On any situation. The old saying, you can ride or get rode on. Step or get stepped on. Okay? Real talk. Ride or get rode on, step or get stepped on. How are you gonna do it? It's up to you. But I leave it at that. You know, it's like, I wasn't trying to get too deep, but I foresee that happening for those who are not prepared. And a lot of people are not prepared because they just, when it comes to the right information to try to do things in life, it's still the basic employee mindset, and that's just going to take you but so far. It might take you up the ladder in your career, but is it going to take you up the ladder in life when things get rough? Is it going to take you up to the ladder in life when you need other resources to pull money from and not just your bank account? I've learned that, especially this last year, you know. So I leave it at that. That's really all I have to say. I'm about to get ready to call it a night, but you know, it's been real. Think about it. Let me know if you have any suggestions on how people, especially within the Black community, can form economic teams. Because for those that are doing it, I'm not talking about y'all. I mean, like I said, a week ago, I was just at Invest Fest. You know, I was just at Invest Fest, and I got to see it with my own eyes, especially with a lot of the young people. You know, especially with a lot of the young people. So I'll leave it at that. So on that note, do the great three things: like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. I'm going to be working more on revamping Larry's Anything Goes. I'm seriously considering getting back into doing the travel aspect because, one, I love to travel, and then two, it just makes sense to try to book travel for other people. Three, like this video I'm going to show before I get off here tonight, I'm going to redo that as well because may think about doing Notary Republic, but I doubt it, but we'll see. I you know, obviously to do something, you got to do some more investigation. I try to talk to other people about these things. They can't give you straight answers. Like, and before I even go off, this lets you know how more and more people, you know, are hustlers, not even just con artists, not hustlers, con artists. And let me know, maybe it's just me. I'm a grown man. I ask a simple question that usually requires a simple answer. But when I do that, and I'm talking to somebody, they can't give me the specifics on what I'm asking. Heck, half the time they're walking around the question I'm asking. So that's why I said when it comes to the Notary Republic thing, because I know two people that have, one has been certified as Notary Republic, and then two, another one has been trying to do it and they can't give me a straight answer. So that's number one. And another thing, number two, with the whole travel business, once again, I would need straight answers because people are not big on, you know, people's communication skills, especially, and maybe it's because of social media, are garbage. For a lot of people, are garbage in real life. Either they can't tell the truth or they just can't get you, they can't give it to you in bullet format. They got to give you a long dissertation of what they're trying to do, and it's like, get to the meat and potatoes. You know, as Jason Black would say, make it practical for the love of God. But a lot of revamping, a lot more hard work is going to be happening. I'm not, you know, like I said, the dark cloud has been lifted, and it's just time to make things happen in this life. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, that's revamping, reorganizing. Like I said, the things with the Larry's Anything Goes brand, get back into wholesaling as well with Patterson Properties. It's time to really make some moves this up and coming year. You know, a lot of time has been wasted. A lot of money has been wasted on doing things that just have nothing to do with my current and my future. And I always say, and what I definitely take away from Invest Fest is stop wasting time with folks that have nothing to do with your future. Okay, straight up and down. Okay, straight up and down. All right, straight up and down. But any creators out there that want to connect, let me know. Let's go from there. You know, hopefully I'll be able to connect with more people from collaborating, doing interviews like I used to. You know, because I'm ready to just make the call. I'm ready to ask questions and go when it comes to just darn near everything in this life. You know, ask the questions in regards to, hey, what's this business about? What are the particulars? What's the pluses and the minuses? Because in everything in this life, there are pluses and minuses. You know, that's my whole thing. Okay, straight up and down. But I'll leave it at that. I'm out, family. Do the great three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great evening. Welcome to September. Make money moves, or you're gonna live broke like a fool. Take care. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.
Mike, now.